Sign the transfer papers, Scott, unless you want to explain to your wife why you're unemployed. Kevin Morrison slid the demotion notice across the conference table with that smug grin I'd seen way too many times. I looked at the document, then at the three other people in the room. Ashley Rodriguez from HR clutching her termination folder like it was gold, Brian Walsh, our CFO, lounging back like he owned the whole damn building, and Alex Cooper, our nervous legal counsel who couldn't even look me in the eye. "Before I sign anything," I said, pulling a sealed envelope from my briefcase, "you should read this first." The envelope hit the table with a sound that might as well have been a gunshot. My name is Scott Patterson, 49 years old, Senior Director of Contract Strategy at Titan Defense Corporation. On a Wednesday morning at 9:47, I walked into conference room 12, knowing they were planning to destroy my career. What they didn't know was that I'd spent 4 years building the perfect trap, and they were about to spring it themselves. So here's how this whole thing started. 4 years ago, Titan acquired Redfield Systems in what you could only call a messy $11 billion merger. I was brought in to sort out thousands of contracts, navigate all the regulatory nightmares, and basically make sure the whole integration didn't blow up in our faces. The workload was crushing. I practically lived in those documents for 18 months straight. But buried deep in all that merger paperwork, I found something beautiful. An executive incentive pool worth $85 million, designed to reward key employees who identified major compliance risks. The fund was just sitting in escrow, barely monitored, waiting to be distributed over 7 years. That's when opportunity came knocking at my door. You gotta understand, I was negotiating my promotion to senior director as part of the whole restructuring mess. Legal was drowning in paperwork. HR was completely overwhelmed. The outgoing chief counsel, Jordan Phillips, was counting down his last 60 days until retirement and basically signing everything that got put in front of him without really looking. "I need enhanced protections," I told him during our contract review meeting. "I'll be evaluating executive-level deals worth millions. If I uncover something serious and face backlash for it, standard indemnification just won't cut it." Jordan barely looked up from his stack of papers. "Draft something reasonable and get it approved." Reasonable? Now that word has always been wonderfully vague, hasn't it? So I crafted what I called the Executive Accountability and Protection Provision. Here's how it worked. If I filed a formal compliance warning about financial irregularities exceeding $15 million and the company responded with demotion, termination, or isolation within 45 days without actually resolving the underlying issue, I would receive the entire executive incentive pool as immediate compensation. The real genius was in how I structured it. I didn't bury it in my employment contract where some sharp lawyer might actually scrutinize it. Instead, I created a side letter to the incentive plan that only required CEO approval and compensation committee sign-off, not full board review. Then I established an irrevocable escrow arrangement with Continental Trust Bank. Once the triggering conditions were verified by the escrow agent, funds would release automatically from designated reserve accounts. No manager approval needed. No way to reverse it once the wheels started turning. The CEO signed it without reading past the title. The compensation committee approved it in a batch with 53 other incentive modifications. Jordan stamped it with legal's blessing, probably thinking about his retirement golf plans and nothing else. I filed the executed documents with Continental Trust, sent certified copies to my attorney, and locked the originals in a safety deposit box. Then I waited, and waited. For 4 years, I was the model employee. Stellar reviews, 2 promotions, never caused any problems. I even won the Chairman's Circle Award for contract optimization, all while knowing I was carrying around a $62 million insurance policy that would detonate the moment someone tried to silence me for doing the right thing. Because in companies this size, someone always gets greedy eventually. 22 months into my senior director role, I found the thread that would unravel everything. It all started with what should have been a routine vendor audit. Obsidian Solutions, a data security consultant that was charging us $850,000 every single month for advanced threat monitoring services at our Memphis facility. Now, the amount wasn't unusual for enterprise security, but something about it just felt wrong to me, so I dug deeper. I pulled their incorporation records. Delaware LLC formed just 19 months ago. No website, no industry certifications, no real presence anywhere. The registered address turned out to be nothing more than a mailbox service in Wilmington. Then I checked who was approving all these payments. Every single invoice bore Brian Walsh's electronic signature. and they were processed within 4 hours of submission. Always Brian, never delegated to anyone else, never rotated through normal approval chains like everything else. That's when I found the connection that made my blood boil. Buried in Delaware Secretary of State filings, Obsidian Solutions' registered agent was listed as Walsh Capital Management, the exact same entity that showed up in Brian's executive disclosure forms as his personal investment vehicle. Our CFO was literally paying himself $850,000 monthly through a shell company, and nobody was watching. But here's the thing that really got to me. Brian Walsh and I served together. 1st Marine Division, Iraq War, 2003 to 2004. I personally pulled his sorry hide out of a burning Humvee outside Fallujah when we took an IED blast during a routine patrol. We bled together in that desert, brother to brother. Semper Fi meant something back then. Now this Marine was stealing from programs designed to help our fellow veterans get work. I traced 3 years of payments, $30.6 million total, split across multiple budget codes to avoid detection. Classic embezzlement technique, but Brian had gotten sloppy over time. The invoices contained identical typos month after month. Email threads showed him explicitly instructing accounting to bypass normal review procedures. I even found building inspection records proving our Memphis facility had never actually upgraded its security systems. The invoices were complete fiction, start to finish. I documented everything I could get my hands on. Purchase orders that didn't match our internal system. Bank routing numbers that traced back to offshore accounts in places I'd never heard of. I even found the fake invoices Brian had created to backfill the Obsidian payments when someone started asking questions. All of them were using the same PDF template with identical metadata timestamps. Amateur hour, really. So I put together a 42-page formal compliance alert, complete with financial flowcharts showing exactly how the money moved from Titan to Obsidian Solutions to Walsh Capital Management. It was like following breadcrumbs, except these breadcrumbs led to $30.6 million in stolen funds. I filed it with the Ethics Committee on a Monday morning, making sure to copy the audit chair, legal, and HR per all the protocols. You know what happened next? Kevin Morrison's retaliation was swift and vicious. By noon that same Monday, my system access was suddenly restricted for routine security updates. By 3 p.m., I was mysteriously excluded from the executive strategy meeting due to agenda constraints. By end of day, 3 of my direct reports were reassigned to higher priority initiatives. Just like that, my team was gutted. Tuesday morning, Kevin called me up to his corner office. Now, Kevin's office was all glass and steel overlooking the city, designed to make you feel small when you walked in there. The guy loved his power games. "You're playing a dangerous game here, Scott," he said, not even bothering with small talk. "I'm just following compliance protocols, Kevin." "No, you're overstepping your authority. Vendor oversight isn't your domain. Contract compliance is exactly my domain. $30 million in questionable payments absolutely requires investigation." His smile was pure predator. "You know, employees who don't understand their place in the hierarchy tend to find themselves reassigned to less prestigious roles." I documented every single word of that conversation. Every restricted access, every canceled meeting, every threat that came my way. I was sending time-stamped emails to my personal attorney, building an evidence trail that would hold up in any courtroom in the country. Wednesday brought more surgical strikes against me. My corporate card got frozen for unusual activity review despite the fact that I hadn't charged anything unusual. My parking spot was suddenly reassigned. My email mysteriously started failing when I tried to send messages to audit committee members. They were cutting me off piece by piece. Thursday, HR scheduled what they called a performance coaching session. Ashley Rodriguez put on that fake, concerned voice and pulled out her plastic smile, but I could see the hatchet she was sharpening. "Your last review was exceptional across all metrics," I pointed out right off the bat. "Well, recent observations suggest some collaboration challenges and cultural misalignment," she replied smoothly, sliding a performance improvement plan across her desk. "We need to see 30 days of enhanced team dynamics and strategic alignment. The goals were impossibly vague and designed to fail." I signed the acknowledgement form, then photographed every single page with my personal phone while she pretended to check her calendar. Friday afternoon, I filed my formal notice of escalation with Continental Trust Bank. This wasn't just the informal alert I'd sent to the Ethics Committee. This was the legal trigger outlined in my protection provision sent via certified mail to the bank, the board secretary, and my attorney. The clock was officially ticking now. Over the next 2 weeks, they executed their character assassination with corporate precision. Meetings scheduled 30 minutes in advance clear across campus. Critical emails arriving at 5:07 p.m. on Friday afternoons, requiring Monday morning responses. Projects getting reassigned without any notice, then questioning me about missed deadlines for work I no longer owned. But Ashley made one crucial mistake. She documented everything in what I started thinking of as her vendetta folder. Late to a meeting she had scheduled during my approved medical appointment. Failed to respond to an email sent to my disabled account. Missed training for a session that was never actually scheduled. She thought she was building my termination file. What she was actually doing was building my evidence package. Meanwhile, I discovered the scheme went way deeper than just Brian's shell company. My contact in payroll, Michelle Torres, another Marine veteran who was fed up with all the executive corruption, slipped me documentation showing $38 million in suspicious retention bonuses paid to unnamed consultants, all routing through the same Delaware banks as Obsidian Solutions. Brian wasn't just stealing from the company, he was running a full kickback scheme involving at least 6 other executives. Then our night security supervisor, Ryan Henderson, pulled me aside in the parking garage one evening. Ryan had lost his left leg to an IED in Afghanistan, but the guy sees everything that happens in this building. Saw something real interesting last Tuesday, he told me. 2:30 a.m. Mr. Walsh loading boxes into an unmarked van. Personally loading them, 23 boxes total. Had to disable the dock camera for maintenance while he did it. Ryan said Brian was sweating like a man trying to bury evidence. By the time Wednesday morning rolled around, I had everything I needed. The embezzlement trail, the kickback network, evidence of document destruction. I'd even found the fake invoices Brian created to backfill the Obsidian payments when the auditors started sniffing around. All of them using the same PDF template with identical metadata timestamps. That's when I received Kevin's meeting invitation. Discussion. Conference Room 12, 9:45 a.m. Wednesday. The subject line might as well have read, "Your execution." I sent one final package to the Securities Enforcement Division that morning. 500 pages of evidence, corporate structure diagrams, bank records, the complete roadmap to $38 million in stolen funds. Then I put on my best suit and the Mont Blanc pen I'd bought after closing the Redfield deal. At 9:44, I stood outside Conference Room 12, watching through the glass as Kevin practiced whatever victory speech he had planned. At 9:45 sharp, I walked into what I knew would be my $62 million moment. The thing about corporate executions is they love their choreography. The moment I walked into that conference room, I could tell they'd choreographed this whole thing like some kind of corporate execution. Kevin was sitting at the head of the table with his fingers steepled, trying to look all serious and important. Ashley had her termination folder spread out with those little signature flags sticking up everywhere. Brian was sprawled back in his chair with the casual arrogance of a man who'd stolen $38 million and figured it was just a rounding error. And Alex was clutching his legal pad like a drowning man holding onto a life preserver. "Scott," Kevin began, putting on that fake concerned voice again. "We've really tried to make this work, but your continued disruption of normal business operations, you mean my compliance alert about $30 million in fraudulent payments?" Brian's jaw got tight. Alleged fraudulent payments. That matter has been reviewed internally and found to be without merit. Reviewed by you? That's real thorough, Brian. Ashley jumped in smooth as silk, sliding the demotion notice toward me. "We're prepared to offer you one final opportunity here. You can accept transfer to associate-level contract analyst reporting to Martin Webb, or we'll have no choice but to proceed with termination for cause. I didn't even touch that paper." Instead, I put my phone down on the table and pulled out the sealed envelope I'd brought with me. "Before we go any further with this little performance, there's something you really need to understand. 72 hours ago, I notified Continental Trust Bank that adverse employment action was imminent following my unresolved compliance alert. They're standing by for confirmation right now." Alex's pen stopped moving completely. "What exactly are you talking about?" I opened that envelope and pulled out the cream-colored document with Continental Trust's official watermark. 4 years ago, I negotiated a very specific protection provision. If I report executive malfeasance exceeding $15 million and then face demotion or termination within 45 days before the issue gets resolved, I receive $62 million from the Merger Incentive Fund. That's completely insane, Kevin sputtered. Nobody in their right mind would approve something like that. Page 9, Section 6. Personally signed by CEO Briggs, approved by the Compensation Committee 4 years ago, funded through irrevocable escrow instructions with Continental Trust Bank. I pulled out my phone and dialed the bank on speaker. 2 rings, Continental Trust Services, Corporate Escrow Division. This is Lauren Adams. Miss Adams, this is Scott Patterson, verification code Alpha 77 Delta. I need immediate confirmation of trigger status on the Titan Industries accountability provision. Good morning, Mr. Patterson. I show your anticipatory notice was received 72 hours ago. Can you please confirm that the adverse employment action has now occurred? I looked right at that demotion letter on the table. I'm being offered a demotion to associate analyst reporting to a manager with 8 months of tenure. The alternative they're giving me is termination. And this is in direct response to your formal compliance alert that was filed October 3rd. That's correct. The underlying issues remain completely unresolved. I could hear computer keys clicking through the speaker while the whole room just sat there in stunned silence. Please hold while I verify all trigger conditions have been met. That's when the room completely erupted. Brian slammed his fist down on the conference table so hard his coffee cup jumped. Cut that call immediately. That won't stop the escrow release, I said. Calm as you please. The instructions are completely irrevocable. Alex was frantically opening his laptop. I need to see this contract right now. This has to be void or superseded by something. Mr. Patterson, Lauren's voice cut through all the chaos. I've confirmed that all trigger conditions are satisfied under Section 8.4. Constructive termination following a compliance alert absolutely qualifies. The $62 million disbursement will process within 1 business day. This is Brian Walsh, Chief Financial Officer. Cancel that transfer immediately. No funds move from this company without my direct authorization. I'm very sorry, sir, but these are irrevocable escrow instructions that were executed 4 years ago. The funds are held in a segregated account completely outside Titan's operational control. Once the triggers are confirmed, the company has absolutely no authority to block the transfer. I pulled out my second folder and set it on the table. While we're all here together, I should probably mention that the Securities Enforcement Division received complete documentation of the Obsidian Solutions scheme this morning, along with evidence of $38 million in executive kickbacks routed through Delaware shell companies. Brian's face went from red to completely white. Additionally, I continued, my attorneys have maintained complete backup copies of all relevant documents under litigation hold. Oh, and Brian, loading 23 boxes into an unmarked van at 2:30 a.m. was pretty sloppy. Ryan Henderson says hello. Kevin stood up so fast his chair toppled backward. You can't do this to us. I haven't done anything wrong here. Actually, you did plenty. Every retaliatory action, every vindictive move, every single attempt to silence me for doing my job. You people built this case against yourselves. I just documented everything along the way. My phone buzzed with an email notification. Continental Trust confirming disbursement had been initiated. Expected completion. Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern. I stood up and buttoned my jacket. Gentlemen, Miss Rodriguez, you've got exactly 1 business day to explain to the board of directors why your former senior director now owns $62 million of shareholder money. I suspect they're going to have some pretty serious questions about that. As I headed for the door, Brian's voice completely cracked. Wait, Scott. We can work something out here. Negotiate this thing. I turned back around one last time. The time for negotiation was when I reported $30 million in fraud. You chose retaliation instead. Now you get to enjoy explaining that choice to the federal investigators. The last thing I saw before that door closed was Alex frantically speed dialing the legal department, Ashley's perfectly manicured nails digging into her folder, and Kevin just staring at that demotion letter like it had turned into a poisonous snake, which, in a $62 million way, it absolutely had. The counterattack started within 90 minutes, and it was desperate and completely chaotic. I was out in the parking lot loading my personal stuff into my car when Alex called my cell phone. Mr. Patterson, the executive team is prepared to discuss a resolution to this situation. The resolution is already processing through Continental Trust, Alex. That provision can't possibly be valid. It's unconscionable. No court in the country would uphold something like that. Then you've got nothing to worry about. See you in court. By noon, they'd completely shifted from threats to straight-up bargaining. Ashley left me 4 voicemails, each one more strained than the last. Scott, there's been a serious misunderstanding here. Your position is completely secure. We can resolve this whole thing internally. Too late for that particular dance, Ashley. At 2:15, I got a cease and desist letter from their outside counsel demanding I halt what they called the improper escrow release. They were claiming the provision was void due to material misrepresentation and violation of public policy. I forwarded it straight to my attorney with just one note. They're panicking. His response came back in 12 minutes. This reads like a first-year law student's panic attack. The notarized signatures and committee approval are ironclad. They're grasping at straws here. Brian tried the direct approach at 3:30, calling from some unknown number. $62 million is excessive, Scott. Come on, be reasonable here. Reasonable? Like stealing $30 million through shell companies was reasonable? That's still under investigation. But this nuclear option doesn't help anybody. The board's going to fight this. Shareholders will sue. You'll spend years tied up in litigation. Will I? Because Continental Trust doesn't seem too concerned about that. Long silence on his end. So what do you want from us? I wanted a company that didn't retaliate against employees for reporting fraud. That ship sailed when you people tried to bury me. We can undo all of that. Full reinstatement, back pay. I'll personally recommend you for VP. The same VP position you dangled 2 years ago before you needed a scapegoat? I understand perfectly how this world works, Brian. You thought I was just another corporate drone you could bulldoze. Surprise. He hung up on me. At 4:30, my attorney called with what he called the real news. Heads up, Scott. Greystone just filed an emergency motion in Delaware Chancery Court seeking a temporary restraining order to freeze the Continental Trust disbursement. On what grounds? Everything they could think of. Breach of fiduciary duty, unjust enrichment, fraudulent inducement. They're claiming you engineered this whole situation just to trigger the provision. I actually laughed out loud. I engineered Brian stealing $30 million? It gets better. They're claiming the signature pages were somehow forged despite having notarization and board minutes confirming approval. They've hired Carmichael and Ross, major firm with serious political connections. Full, scorched earth approach. Good. Let them waste their money on lawyers. What's our response timeline? Already drafting. But Scott, this could get real ugly before it's over. It's already ugly, counselor. At least now it's expensive for them, too. The most interesting call came from Lauren Adams at Continental Trust using her personal cell phone. Mr. Patterson, I probably shouldn't be calling you like this, but I think you deserve to know. We received their injunction request and our legal department reviewed it thoroughly. She paused. We're proceeding with the disbursement exactly as scheduled. The escrow instructions are crystal clear and frankly, we'd face liability if we didn't honor them. The Delaware court can sort out the aftermath, but our obligation is to follow the original agreement. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you for including such precise instructions 4 years ago. It's honestly the cleanest trigger provision I've seen in 23 years of fiduciary banking. Thursday morning arrived with what you might call poetic precision. At 10:58, I was sitting in my home office with my laptop open to 3 different screens. My bank account, Continental Trust's wire confirmation system, and Titan's stock price, which was down 18% in pre-market trading. At 1100 sharp, my laptop chimed with the notification I'd been waiting for. Continental Trust Bank, wire transfer completed, $62 million credited to account ending in 7E43. Reference, Executive Accountability Provision Settlement, $62 million. 9 digits that transformed 4 years of careful planning into permanent financial freedom. I called my wife Jennifer first. Honey, Amanda's medical school tuition is completely covered. Your dad's veteran care costs are handled. We're done working if we want to be. What happened, Scott? What did you do? I'll explain everything when you get home. But we won. We actually won this thing. By noon, my phone was going crazy with messages. Board members suddenly remembering my name, reporters trying to sniff around the edges of the story, former colleagues desperately trying to figure out which side they should be on. But the most important message came from Michelle Torres. Just got promoted to senior analyst with full whistleblower protection. They're too scared to even look at me sideways now. Thank you for showing all of us how to fight back when it matters. I walked out onto my deck overlooking the mountains, thinking about my daughter Amanda starting Johns Hopkins Medical School next fall with 0 debt. About my father finally getting the specialized veteran care he'd earned after serving in Korea. About fellow Marines like Brian who'd forgotten what honor actually meant, and Marines like Michelle and Ryan who never forgot. You know what the best part was? Tomorrow I could walk back into Titan Defense Corporation as an independent consultant if I wanted to, helping them clean up the mess they'd created for themselves. But today, I was exactly where that associate analyst was supposed to be, sitting on a fortune they'd handed me themselves, one signature at a time. Sometimes the best contracts really are the ones nobody bothers to read. And sometimes 4 years of patience pays off at exactly $62 million. But more than the money, I'd protected programs that helped fellow veterans find good work. I'd shown corporate bullies that some people won't be silenced. And I'd proved that doing the right thing doesn't always mean getting screwed over. Semper Fi still meant something after all. It just cost them $62 million to learn that lesson. In the end, the biggest corporations are just people making decisions. And people always underestimate the quiet guy who reads every contract and never forgets a favor owed. Sometimes the best weapon against institutional power isn't a lawyer or a union. It's patience, preparation, and a pen that writes in permanent ink.